Hey guys, Andrew with Dirt Rider Magazine. I'm here with two of our test riders, Alan Brown and Steve Boniface, summing up our 2018 450 MX Shootout. Coming in first place, taking the overall victory, was the Honda CRF450R. The Honda was all new in 2017 and received a few minor updates for 2018, including chassis updates, stiffer suspension settings in the front and rear, and electric start, which added about 5 pounds to the bike. But overall, the engine was highly praised by all of our test riders. Alan, how'd you like the engine on the Honda?
I really like the engine on the Honda. I spent quite a bit of time riding the 2017 bike. They haven't changed the engine characteristics that much. I don't think they needed to. I think it was a really good engine. It is a little sensitive as far as on-off throttle, almost too responsive. When you're on the bike, you know, at above 50% throttle, a wide open throttle, it's a little bit loud. They do have 3 maps that are available on the handlebar switch. It seems like it was easier to ride it on the number 2 map, which is the mellow map. But if you need more motor, if you're in some loamy dirt, you've got the number 1 standard map, and then there's the number 3 aggressive map. It's a super strong motor that doesn't have the torque of the Yamaha, and it may not over rev like the KTM, but I can ride it harder and longer, and it just doesn't seem to make me get as tired.
Definitely. To me, it seems like a really free revving engine. The power's just there whenever you want, on command. The map 2 was definitely more on the mellow side. I didn't notice a huge difference between all the maps, but they were subtle, noticeable enough.
The Honda 450 engine was my favorite one. I felt like you guys really summed it up pretty good. It has everything you can ask for. It was good at the bottom, mid, top. It was easy to ride. I feel like I was able to utilize most of the power. It wasn't maybe as torquey as a Yamaha or as fast as a KTM, but I felt like it was suiting me better than those 2 bikes engine-wise. I felt like the bike wanted to be ridden hard, or maybe that's how I wanted to ride the bike, but I do feel like it would be easier for any kind of rider to get used to the power of the Honda compared to the other bike.
Moving on to the suspension, that was one of the few areas that the Honda was revised for 2018, getting stiffer spring rates in the front forks and rear shock, along with valving to match that. A lot of riders seem to like that. Last year, it seemed like a lot of test riders felt like it was on the soft side, like it would kind of blow through the stroke, especially under hard impact. Steve, how'd you like the suspension?
I really like the suspension. To me, it was the one that I felt the most comfortable on. I didn't feel like I needed to make a lot of change. It was really good, like coming into the corner, but also like on the faster part of the track. Everything was pretty good for me. I could have used a little more comfort beginning of the stroke, but again, maybe my weight didn't help. But overall, for me, that was the bike I felt the most comfortable on.
Definitely, I agree. For me, obviously being a lighter rider, it was a bit on the stiffer side, but I came to find that, as I mentioned earlier with the engine, it was a bit easier to ride hard. Like I felt like it really stayed up in the stroke, and it seemed like the more aggressive I rode it, the better it worked.
I liked it. I think it was quite a significant improvement over last year. I don't know how much they did in the valving. I believe, like you said, they went up on the spring rates. I rode it numerous times also, and we came in and we made some adjustments, and it was the opposite of what I thought we should do. We ended up stiffening the forks and slowing the shock down. Only just a few clicks. You don't need to make more than 2 clicks. It's a big change on that bike.
Moving on to the Honda CRF450R chassis. This was by far one of the most highly praised chassis setups in our shootout. Our test riders really liked it. Honda put some new engine hangers, which surprisingly made quite a bit of difference in the compliancy of the chassis. Steve, how'd you like the Honda handling?
I love the Honda handling. That's the one, again, I felt like the best on. Corner was incredible. I was really surprised with how good I was able to not only turn in the ruddy corner, but also like on a longer, flat, higher speed corner. The bike was, for the most part, very predictable. I was able to really feel what the bike was going to do, and it was really easy to get up to speed on the bike.
I'm with you. I felt comfortable within probably less than a half a lap. The bike's really easy to get used to. For me, really easy to hop on, feel comfortable, and be aggressive and go fast. I almost feel like the bike has somewhat of a 250F-esque type feel. It feels small, it's really easy to throw around.
The way Honda's positioned the weight on the bike, it feels like the lightest bike in the class. A little bit of input to the handlebars or to the foot pegs, or if you push with your knees on the side of the radius rods, can make a big difference on the direction of the bike. It can be slightly over-responsive. They improved that for 18. It's much better over the 17 bike, but I really liked how nimble it was. You get on it and within a lap, you feel like you're going as fast as you could possibly go. It likes to go fast. It can turn super sharp insides. You can just dive to the inside of a corner almost at the very last second, but yet you're not sacrificing too much stability on a fast straightaway.
So the 2018 Honda CRF450R is undoubtedly a better bike, and the unique thing is that all of us rated the bike in first place in our overall rankings over the 2 days of shootout. Steve, obviously being a former pro and an extremely fast rider, myself being more of a novice level rider, Alan being about a vet intermediate level. Steve, why would you buy this bike?
Well, I think the bike has everything you want. Electric start, suspension were good, cornering was amazing, the engine was probably the one you could use the most out of it, and two, the bike was like not as demanding as some other 450.
So that wraps up our 2018 450 MX Shootout with the Honda CRF450R coming on top. I'm here with Alan Brown, Steve Boniface, my name is Andrew Allard, and we'll see you guys next time.